I went through rejection in my life. I did go through rejection. If you've been through rejection, it's very gruesome. It's bad. It puts you in a bad place. Personally, I went through rejection, and it caused me to have low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. We have low self-esteem. Low self-esteem means that you don't think highly of yourself. You think that you need to settle for anything. That's what I did. So it caused me to be in different relationships that I knew I had no business in being in. But because somebody showed me the attention, whether it would be negative attention, whatever kind of attention, I ran to it because I felt like I needed that, because I wanted that attention. I had low self-esteem. And rejection, when you go through rejection, whether it's rejection in relationships, rejection in your employment, rejection in your family, or you may have thought you was the black sheep of the family, or whatever it is, whatever situation it is, the rejection is real. But I want to switch it. I always say, you're going to hear me say a lot that I look at the cup half full. I'm an optimistic person. So I want you to look at rejection as being a blessing. Yeah, rejection is a blessing, y'all. For me, it was a blessing because there are things that I went through living in rejection. Me thinking that, I had low self-esteem and I wasn't worthy for this, A, B, C, or D. It blessed me because it placed me in a situation where I had to learn myself. I did. It's a lonely journey, but there's nothing wrong with being lonely, because I'm never lonely. God is always with us, with me, with you. But it's an isolation process that you go through, and you may not have learned, or you may not have learned the depth of it if you was around a big crowd. So rejection is a blessing. Look at the things that you went through. There are two types of people. People that go through things in life, and the cycle repeats. If you've been in a abusive household, and then nine times out of 10, you that child may go on to be abusive also. Or if somebody has been sexually abused, sometimes they may go on and abuse too. But it don't have to necessarily be the case. So that's the one part of it. That's the one fold. The second twofold other part of it, the scenario would be me. I went through a whole lot of stuff, and later on, because I don't mind being transparent, some of my videos will talk about some of those things. But I looked at it in a different aspect. And my perspective on it was that, I went through those things, and it caused me to feel like I was rejected, and it made me feel like I had low self-esteem. But in those situations or relationships, I turned it around. So I knew what I didn't have growing up, or I knew what I was missing, so I turned it around for my good, so that now it became, I knew what to give somebody else. So say, for instance, if you grew up in a family, and your parents didn't give you the kind of love that you needed, or you was in a relationship, and like a marriage, you was in a marriage, and in that marriage you don't feel like you was loved the way that you should be. So if you divorce that marriage and go to your second marriage, you should take on the perspective of, okay, so I know what I didn't get in that relationship, so I know moving forward, I know what I need to expect in a different relationship. It's like a job. I had a boss to tell me one time, well, if you didn't learn the right thing, you'll know what not to do. And that's that twofold thing. So I learned what I didn't get, I turned it around, the cup half full, and I used it to my advantage. So I knew what I didn't receive, and I knew what I should have received, what I was expecting and I didn't get. So I know how to do that in a different relationship. So if I'm raising my children, if things that I didn't get, because there's no perfect parents, I know I wasn't. My children may say they missed something or whatever, and their children going to say the same thing. It goes on and on. But I knew what to give my kids because I knew what I felt like I was missing in my life. So stop looking at rejection as a bad thing. Stop talking about rejection. I've been rejected, and the spirit of rejection, and it's real, but you have to turn that thing around and use it as your advantage. Use it to build somebody else up. Okay, yeah, you was rejected. You was in that lonely place, but it was your blessing, because if you hadn't been in that lonely place, if you had not been rejected, how do you know how much love that you can get? If it never rained, how do I know how bright the sun can shine? Come on now. Use your blessing. Use your rejection as a blessing. Turn it around. Rejection is a blessing. Look at it like that. I hope this helps you.